Yeah. Good looking out there. Yeah. Ha, it's Flav, you heard? It's Flav. Check it, I had to get what I earned. It's my turn. Welcome to the show. It's Trenton's Tavern. Yeah. Ha, that's how we doing it. Welcome to the show, y'all. Enjoy.
What's good?
We bite. So, welcome back to the show, ladies and gents. This is episode 27.2 because this is the second part of what we had going on last week. If you didn't already go watch last week's episode, you probably should, because I got a lot of good feedback from it. They said it was a conversation that needed to be had, and yeah, we back for part two. So we broke it up into two parts because this nigga Ray can talk. And I wanted it to be under 50 minutes or under an hour. So yeah, we had to cut it in half, but I still have 3 more questions. So the last time I got we got through 3 questions. This time we're gonna try to get through the next 3, and that'll be part 2 of this. But let me see. Let me go ahead and do what I do. Set the mood for y'all. Tell y'all all of this good information. Let me see where we at. As of right now, 161 subscribers, which is, I don't know what I told y'all last time. I think it was like
last week it was 340.
Yeah, so within a week I got 40 more. You know what I mean?
I know when we dropped it last week, I think I posted it and then I sent it personally to 13 people.
Yeah.
The 13 people I know of for a fact all subscribe to your shit. So good looking out.
Yeah, good looking out.
Good looking out to the 13. Good looking out.
I appreciate that. So thank you guys so much for all of y'all support. That joint almost got 100 views on it within a week. 69 right now, but I'm sure it'll keep going up. So thank you guys so much for all of the support. I really appreciate it. We on our way to 1,000. That's what we're trying to get to. So I'm trying to have 500 by my birthday, which seems pretty doable if I keep getting 20 subscribers a week. I'll be past that. But thank you guys for all of that support. Really, really appreciate it. But we're not gonna waste time. We're gonna jump back into this, and I'm just gonna start talking about question 1.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's
do
it.
Cool. So, like I said, we started. This is topic of the day. We started this last week. Got through 3 questions. Y'all got to go watch the other ones to see what the question was. Y'all got to go watch the one last week. But this week I have 3 more. So we're gonna get right into it. So, question number 1 is, with you being biracial, what race is more attractive? What race do you find more attractive? 1, and what race is more attracted to you, if there is one? Like, do you see white women being more attracted to you?
I would definitely say it's black women.
Black women more.
I'm more attracted to black women, but I don't discriminate.
Okay.
At all. I'm the type of guy, and some people are gonna take this the wrong way. I don't care. I just love women. Like if women came in, like, you know, the mint toothpicks.
Yes.
You can get from the store.
Yes. If
women came in the form of a toothpick, I'd literally walk around with one in my mouth all day. I just love women.
Yeah, me too.
Black, white, Puerto Rican. I don't care. Yeah. Now my preference is black women, preferably for some. I got a thing for dark skinned women. Something about the chocolate, it gets me.
Like chocolate women or just black women in general?
Chocolate.
Women.
Chocolate.
Yeah, I don't really have a type. I love women as well, but of course, I'm not biracial, so I don't know if that's what, you know, because I know there is a lot of white women out there that love black men. Mm-hmm. I know a few, but like I said the last time, I've never been like, there are white women that I see that it's like, damn, she fine.
Right.
But that's as far as it goes for me. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I gotta have her, she fine. Now, when I see like a black woman like that, it's like, oh, I gotta have her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. And I don't know what it is. I don't know, like, if it's just the color of their skin or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But it's something about them that just, I don't know, it makes me it makes me feel more. You know what I mean? It makes
Right.
me it makes me feel more about them to the point where I would actually talk to them as to opposed to just seeing them. You know what I mean? And just being attracted to them. And again, that could come with all of the fears that I have as far as them not knowing our race and them not knowing our history and all of that type of stuff.
It makes sense because it's a dynamic you do have to think about. Because anytime you get involved, and it's sad that in this day and age that you have to think like that. Because if I think two people are consenting adults, if this person this race and you're black, if you decide you want to get together and build a life, first of all, you shouldn't have to worry about what society thinks.
Right.
But we still live in this day and age where you do.
Right.
And then God forbid, if you have kids, you're bringing the kid into something that if you don't shield them, if you don't protect them, and if you don't make sure they got both sides incorporated in their brain,
Yeah.
you can be, in a sense, you can be fucking that kid. Because I remember when I was growing up, and this is no disrespect to my parents, I didn't know shit about the white side of my family. You couldn't tell me I was mixed when I was a kid. I couldn't explain why I look. It wasn't until I was a teenager, honestly, and started asking certain questions. Like really when I got to high school, that was somewhat of a culture shock. Because up until high school, when I basically went, because the school I was in before, you might as well say it was segregated because it was all black. It wasn't until I got to high school and being around white folks, like I said, it was a fucking culture shock.
Yeah.
And like I said, like when we talked about last week, to get that racism and that shit from both sides, like internally, it had me kind of fucked up. And that's what made me start asking questions about my dad's side of the family. And that was how I found out some of the stuff I did. But I do feel that maybe my parents in a small way could have done a better job in preparing me for it. Because like I said, it was a man, it was, when you around all black people all the time and you've been conducting yourself a certain way, and then when the script gets flipped on you, and now you got this whole other race of people and just like everything, and even though it was a public school, but everything was totally fucking different.
Right.
And I had to really adjust. The only thing I knew going in is like, okay, these my folks over here.
Right.
And you could almost say in a roundabout way, baby, I was acting a little bit racist because I was like, well, I don't fuck with white people. White people don't fuck with me. You know, I'm staying over here. I had to kind of get out of that mindset. So
I don't even know if you could be racist because you both.
Thank you for. I tell people.
I don't know that. I don't know if you can be.
I tell people that. Now I will admit, and I think anybody who tries to say they're not, they're lying. I will admit, I'm prejudiced as fuck.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I got a problem. I might need therapy. It's horrible.
I might be a little prejudiced too. But I was talking to some of my friends, and they was asking, you know, like, they was just pretty much making jokes about like if I was really saying what I wanted to say. And I was like, nah, I tried to explain it in the most political way. Like when it comes to white women, like I said, she has to be like, man, like a goddess pretty much. You know what I mean? For me to date her. I don't know why. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
You're not the first person I heard say that. And I think I honestly think some people have that thought because they know if you bring Becky with the good, you know, if you bring Becky with the good hair home, you're gonna automatically be ostracized.
That's what I'm saying.
Little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
So if she don't look like something, that's just gonna amplify whatever kind of bigoted thought, anything that they have.
Yep. And
so you almost if you bringing home one of them tax check broads, like some of these dudes do during tax, they gonna look at you like.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, I know, like my grandmom's is not racist, but she would be like Sammy, you couldn't find none of us. Like, not that she don't like white people, you know what I mean? Like, because some of her best friends is white, but she would just be like, nah, I want to have, you know, like black grandkids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not mixed grandkids.
Right.
But she would love them the same. But I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff that comes along with it that I just don't feel like at this age I'm willing to put up with it.
It just shows you how, if anything, how the slogan, how history repeats itself. It's a constant thing because, like I said, here we are. It's 2020. And there are some people who can't grasp the idea of two people just making a decision to just kick it and do their own thing without there being all these questions with it. And in some ways, it's kind of sad. For what it's worth, though, I can't picture you with a white woman.
Really?
I just can't. And I know I ain't known you that long. For those of y'all interested in our backstory, go back to the last episode. Y'all see how we met.
See how we met.
I can't. I'll say it like this. I ain't trying to make you look back. I can't see you in a relationship with a white woman. I can see you in a situationship. I can't see you in a full blown. Yeah, I just can't.
I don't either.
I just can't.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't either. And again,
if we was to be out and you showed up with a white woman, I'm gonna look at you and be like, all right. I'm not even gonna blame you. I'm gonna look at you and be like, all right, what's her deal? Like, what is it? She just wants some pretty kids. Like, what is it? I'm not gonna look at you. I'm gonna look at her. Like, what's her deal?
Yeah, it would have to be like some type of circumstances to where it was like some old boom. I seen her and it's some love at first sight type junk, or you know what I mean? Like, she's not all the way white. She like Puerto Rican and
right,
or you know, something like that. Like, I don't know. I don't see me with a white woman either. But you know what I mean? We'll see. I guess we'll see, but yeah, it's probably not like this. But I love them. I love them. I love white women. I love women. Period.
I can't see.
We'll see. But the funny thing is, you said something about kids earlier, and that was the next question. So, question number 2 is: when the kids get involved, how would you go about their upbringing? You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to know.
So,
because I'm gonna just say this real quick.
Okay.
Because I have my nephew, I have a niece and a nephew that's both biracial. And the first thing that she tries to do when she gets mad at my brother is keep the kids away from him. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's for the simple fact of her just being spiteful, or if it's a simple fact that you're not going to win regardless because of my race. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get the kids back because of, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to go through more than what you think you're going to have to go through because you're black and I'm white. I don't know what her mindset is when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Like, so my thing would be like, what do you, and when they get older, what do you lead more towards? Like, knowing their black history more or knowing their white history more?
For me, I got that answer in 2 parts. So the way I was brought up, I was just black. I was never told to say, like, you know, you would fill out them forms. I was never told to pick other or you got more than one race. I always just put African American. I was just raised as a black kid. That's how I was raised by my grandparents. That's how they did it.
Right.
The kids I got, in a way, this is going to sound bad. I think in a way I'm kind of lucky because, for one, they're all darker than me. Like my kids are basically your complexion. Like my son, he this color. So no, it's funny because I mean, when he was like a baby, we go out. I swear to God, people was looking at me like I kidnapped him or some shit because they was just like, that is not his. But I think personally, I'm just being honest. I think personally, like with my kids, I didn't tell them to say. I just told them they black. I'm a mix. All their mothers, they're black. I'm mixed. I have really nothing to tell them about white history other than the shit you learn in school. So I just raised them as they was black kids. Like I said, when the relationships I've been in is with black women. So I don't necessarily worry about that other side. But I do feel that when two people of a different race, if you make that move to have children, you can't favor it towards one side.
Right.
You got to give them both sides equally, because the thing that they have to understand, that's how you're molding them. Because the one thing that's inevitable, doesn't matter what you teach your child, you can teach them everything under the sun. Once they start to flap them wings, they're gonna get out here in the world and make their own decisions. All you can do as a parent is pray, I've instilled enough of me, enough of the good of me, and hopefully got all the bad out of you, so you go out here. Because I think most parents, when they look at the kids, they all want two things. They want you to be better, and especially with some of us black folks, don't embarrass us. You know, don't fuck up this family now.
Yep.
That's it. That's really all you can ask.
Yeah.
Because once everybody comes an adult, and I mean, they're going to do stuff you don't like when they're kids. They're going to do shit that you don't like when they're adults.
Right.
It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
Your job, like I said, your job as a parent is it's real simple. When they're babies, kids, teenagers, your job is to provide, protect, and guide. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
I know I'm trying to make it sound real simplistic, but that's really your job as a parent.
Right.
It's just to prepare them to go out here in this world. Once they get out there, what they do, that's on them. So I think it's only fair, like, you know, if it's a white lady and a black man, or a white dude and a black woman, you have to give them both sides. Mm-hmm. You have to give them all the good. You have to give them all the bad. Mm-hmm. Because
from both sides.
Yeah, you have to. Because the thing is, if you don't, you are crippling that kid.
Yeah.
Because you can end up with a kid like me. You know, if you keep him shielded from all this shit, and then when he goes somewhere to where you can't protect him, it's gonna be a culture shock like a motherfucker. Yeah. And some people, and it's probably something we should get into. I don't know if it'll be today or the next one we do, with all the mental health shit going around and everything. When you throw somebody in a powder keg like that, if they're not prepared, you don't know what could happen.
Right.
You don't. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you can't control the world's evil. Some shit is just gonna happen to them regardless. But they need to know. Mm-hmm. But you have to incorporate both sides. Okay. Good and bad. You have to. And like I said, if you don't, you're crippling that kid for life. You are.
So what do you do for, like, what would you do in the situation of, it's like, okay, mom and dad is teaching me both sides, but when I get with my grandparents, my white or my black grandparents, they're straying me one side to this side, you know what I mean? Like, one is leaning towards the other. Like, when I go with my white grandparents, they want me to learn more about my white history. When I go with my black history, or my black grandparents, they want me to. So what do y'all do as parents in that situation?
Well, the first thing you can try and do is you have to have a discussion with both sets of the grandparents. Mm-hmm. Say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. Please don't undermine us. Now, here's the bad thing about that, and you probably haven't gone through this yet, and I've had to learn this the hard way. Grandparents is gonna do what the fuck they want to do. That is just the reality of the situation.
Because most of them are.
They're gonna do what they want. They don't give a fuck what you say. Just like when you drop the kid off to your grandparents, I used to tell my grandma, I used to tell my son, don't give him all that sugar and shit, yada yada. I need him to be able to take a nap tonight, yada yada. I go back to pick him up, this motherfucker, he just bouncing off the shit. I'm finding Reese's Pieces, Twix, everything. I'm looking at Mom, why he wanted it and I gave it. So it's some shit. All you can do is talk to the parents of the parents and be like, listen, you have to talk to them and let them know.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what we're doing.
Right.
But as that parent, you also have to accept, like, they gonna do what the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And there has to be an understanding of, okay, well, as long as they ain't hurting my child, I kind of gotta let this go. Because you ain't never gonna win that battle unless they're steering the kid in such a way to where it's like, okay, you're not going over there for a while.
Right.
Which then is a totally different dynamic, because nobody likes to have that. Nobody likes to have that conversation with their parent. I had to have it with mine once about one of my kids. Like, okay, he you know,
well, yeah,
they're just not gonna come over here for
that. Was another thing I was gonna ask. Like, what if it gets to a point where you just like, you know, well, y'all just can't go over? Because I know my mom with my grandmother, just us being who we are. My grandmother seen my mom as. See, my mom growing up, she used to get whooped for the stuff that my aunt and my uncle did. You know what I mean? When she didn't have nothing to do with it, just because she was the oldest. And even as she got older, my uncle and my aunt would be living with my grandmoms. And she would call my mom, which at this time, my mom has a husband and kids. And she would call my mom from her house to come clean up her house. But my uncle and my aunt is sitting in there. So at some point in time, it's like, and my mom used to do it for a while until my dad was like, nah, you're not doing that no more. Like, and my mom and my pops ended up falling out and arguing about it. But in the long run, he was correct.
You know, the best way to answer that for me, I don't know if you're a Dave Hollister fan or not. He had a song that fits perfect to this situation, even though it was talking about a different thing. The name of the song is called Take Care of Home.
Okay.
I don't care what a situation is. Your home needs to be your first priority.
Correct.
You live, regardless whether it's married, just living with somebody. But if y'all have a family, you have to take care of this first.
Correct.
Everything else has to be second. Because if you were trying to incorporate all this other shit into your house, that is not your house and not your family, it's going to cause problems.
Right.
You have to separate the two. Now, by no means am I saying, hey, don't help, don't do this or anything like that, because, you know, family, blood is blood and all, you know, all that shit. But I got to take care of the crib first. It's just like I remember like when I remember before I had kids, I had a couple little cousins and a nephew, you know, asked me for money all the time, this, that, and the other. Hey, no, here you go. Break them off, this, that, and the other. Once I started having kids, like, you know, them phone calls come in like, hey, yo, can I get, I can't, I can't help you. And it was funny seeing the response sometimes. It's like, y'all got to understand, I got responsibilities now.
Right. I
still the cool uncle. I had to mellow out on the coolness because I got to take care of this shit. I got to take care of this over here. I got to do this over here. And I saw my dad do that to my mom when I was a kid. Because my mom, like most older black ladies, you know, she liked to talk. Sometimes she would put too much business out there.
Right.
And every now and then I would see my dad. He would look at it. He'd be like, hey, you need to reel that in. This,
right.
This, you know, this is. I grew up on a street called Berkeley, and my dad would sometimes say to me, hey, that's this Berkeley business. Ain't got nothing to do with what's going. That stay in. It's almost like the Vegas rule. Hey, what happens here?
Right.
Even though in this social media age, you know, shit stay in Vegas no more. But it's that old ad. It's like, hey.
Incriminating.
And I'm the same way with my kids. I tell my kids certain things like, hey, what in here is in here.
Right.
It don't belong to nobody out there.
Right.
Don't belong to your grandparents, your great aunt, none of that. What we doing here, that's our business. It's like the Under Armour commercial. We got to protect this house. You have to take care of your family first. Yeah. And that holds the same. You've been in relationships. You already know. You know you got that one friend, like some shit can happen between you and your shorty. You already know, like, I tell that motherfucker, he gonna make this such a fucking. I don't even want to hear his shit right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not versus. You know, you got that other friend who he's just a fucking vault.
Yeah.
He's gonna take everything, you know, to his grave. So it's a pick and choose thing, but you have to protect your house, because the problem is if you don't protect your house, that one confidant that you tell all that shit to, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna be that party setting, or it's gonna be that thing. You know, when people get angry or they get in their feelings, they let shit out.
Yeah.
And the first time they let out something that your partner, whoever feels they shouldn't even know, you're going to get that look like, what the fuck? It's almost like the scene in that movie. What's that Tyler Perry? Why did I get married? The first one, when they was at the cabin, and your boy Mike just told everybody's bit now. And you see what happened. Now, Mike, him and the side piece, he leave. They leave to go live their best life. Now everybody at the table going through this drama because this nigga want to prove a point. And so you have to, you gotta pick and choose what you tell them. And I'm the same way. Like I probably got two friends that I literally tell everything to. I got my homie Doug, and then I got Hop. I would probably tell Doug a little more than Hop for the simple fact, me and Doug, we got like 25 years in. I know what goes there is going to stay there. Not saying that it won't with Hop. It's just me and him here.
Yeah.
And then me and Hop, we got our separate shit too.
Yeah.
Because even though some friendships, even though they're the same, they can still be different.
Right.
It's like when people always claim to be 100. Hey, $100 bill changes like every 10 years.
Right.
Still worth the same, but it changes. It looks different.
Right.
It's the same concept. You protect your house. You protect your house first. Everybody has their own vices or outlets they use to deal with shit. But you got to take care of that home first, and don't let all that outside shit get in there. Because nine times out of 10, when the outside stuff gets in there, it's normally your fault because you done ran your mouth and said something you shouldn't have said. No way.
And by that time, everything is already at jeopardy.
Yes.
Once the information starts getting the airs that it shouldn't be,
man.
You know, them stories is gonna get twisted and stuff. But I just know sometimes it's hard to deal with, like, telling the grandparents about stuff, just because the simple fact they were brought up a certain way as well, and they don't really like, they understand that the times have changed, but at the same time they're like, that don't matter to me none.
Right.
Like, this is the way that this is supposed to be. And it's like, well, that's the way it was years ago. You know what I mean? That's the way it was when y'all was being brought up. It's completely different now. And a lot of people just don't like to have any type of confrontation with their parents.
No, especially in our community, because it's looked at when you do that,
you being disrespectful.
You going to hell.
Yeah,
you
like
say something.
You wilding.
Even if you're talking about something in an amicable way, it's like, no, you can't. No, like you need to have these. Sometimes you need to have these discussions.
Yeah.
But you have. I've always just been the type. You got to take it with a grain of salt, because I already know in my mind. Okay, I'm gonna tell them don't do this. But then in the back of my mind, it's like, they might not do all of it. They're going to fuck around and do something. They're going to mess around and do something. That's what grandparents do.
That's what they do.
And then you also, in the funny side of it, you also got to look at, some grandparents just do that shit to be like, I'm going to pay your ass back. All that shit you used to do, this is my chance to get paid back. So you just got to take the good with the bad. You had the conversation with them in hopes that they will respect you and what you're trying to do as a family. But just know in the back of your mind, you can get on the list of all this shit. It's almost like a thing of pick your battles.
Right.
Like you could give them a list of like 20 things, but before you give them the list, you have to accept that. Okay, they basically they gonna fuck off about 14 of these. Mm-hmm. But if I can just get them to get these 6 right here, I can let these 14 go. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a trade-off, because like I said, in the back of your mind, grandparents gonna do what they want to do. They just are.
Yeah,
especially ours.
And the thing is, like grandparents. I mean, my grandmom, she don't do nothing but give me gems. Like, I may not have seen it when I was younger and I didn't understand some of it, but now that I'm older, like, she talked to me about it and she like, see, this is why I was telling you to do this way, this blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, for a kid that's already confused, you know what I mean? Like, if you biracial and you already confused because you getting the racism from both sides, you know what I mean? Like, you're not black enough for this side, but you're not white enough for this side. It could just be depending on whatever else you are learning between your friends, your family, or your friends, your intermediate family, and then your outside family, like your grandparents and stuff. Like, that could make somebody go crazy.
It can.
It could make somebody go absolutely crazy, because it's like, well, I want to listen to my grandmoms, I love her, but my mom and my dad is teaching me 2 other things. Then my grandparents on the other side is teaching me some other stuff. Then my friends telling me, like, you know what I mean? How does that kid grow up and learn to think for themselves?
I think it depends. There's no right answer to it. I just think it depends on the dynamic that the kid grew up in. Like, for me, not knowing my biological father and the problems my mom was having. So, like I said, my grandparents raised me. So in my mind, everything my grandparents said was law.
You're right.
Anybody that came after that, regardless whether it was uncles, aunts, whoever, you were second to that. Right. And don't get me wrong, like any other kid, I would talk to my uncles about stuff and talk to my aunt about stuff, because sometimes it's good to get a different perspective. Sometimes you just want to hear something else because you already know what they're going to say. Let me ask somebody else, see what happens.
Right.
But in my mind, the way it was set up, regardless of what, my Uncle Skip would say, or my Aunt Narina, or whoever, like, regardless of what they would say, I know the buck stopped with Lem. My grandparents' name were Lem and Joe. The buck stop stopped and started with them.
Yeah.
Even with the shit I didn't like, I had to respect it enough. Is okay, hey, this is where I'm at. This is who takes care of me. They basically had me since birth. It stops there. I still formulated my own opinions, which you're going to do. You're going to naturally evolve.
Regardless.
But in the back of my mind, it was like, okay, this is where it starts.
Yeah, that was
everything else is secondary after that.
So what they were saying was pretty much like your structure.
Yeah.
And then you just built your own.
Because regardless of any type of structure you have, like I said, you're going to evolve and find your own way. Any parent nowadays, and hell, I think even back then, all they're doing is preparing you for a path. Yeah. They can't take the path for you. They can give you all. They can give you. My dad told me a long time ago, I can teach you a million different ways how to be a man.
Right.
You still got to figure it out for yourself. And it's still the same thing. They can give you all the info in the world. You have to take all that. You have to study it. You have to look at it and find the path that works for you, and just hope that you have picked the right one and live your life. You fuck up, you might fall down, get back up. Okay, this one didn't work. Let me try. But it's going to fall on you. Yeah. But that's why I say it's the parent. All the parents can do is prepare, because that child is going to develop their own mind, their own ways of thinking, their own personality. It's going to be a mix of the mom. It's going to be a mix of you. It's going to be blended regardless. But at the end of the day, once they get to adulthood, it's going to be their decision. All you can do is just try and put them on a path and pray.
So you said, so when you say, because you don't know none of your dad's side of the family, right?
No, just the one I met who hit me with some truth. And like I said, I respected her for that.
Who was it, your aunt or something?
It was one of his sisters.
Okay. So when you say your dad, who was this? Your mom's husband or boyfriend at the time?
No, they were never, I think they were kind of just in like a, I don't know what you call cuddy buddies in the 70s. I think that's what I know that's what we call it now. I don't know what they called it in the 70s. You know, I think they had a little thing, and I was the result of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
She doesn't. It's funny because the one time when I really came at her with it and went to talk to her about it, I don't know if it was a thing of to whether it was a painful time for her, or it was either painful or she didn't really want to discuss it, or it was just as simple of, you know, hey, we had a fling that lasted for a minute, and you know, you were the result of it. Because she never really had a lot to say. She never said anything bad about him, but she just didn't have a lot of info to give.
This your biological father?
Yeah.
Okay.
She never had a lot of info to give about him. So I just took it like, hey, they was a thing that lasted for a minute, and then here I am, and then that's you know, that's it.
All right. Okay. So that's 2 questions already. The last question, I just came up with this one actually, like right before you got here, but I did want to know, what is your biggest fears when it comes to, well, I can't even say dating outside of your race because you're both, but I guess I'll just say that dating, like interracial dating, or just dating period, like at your age, like what's your biggest fear, if you have any?
I don't really think I have one, because like when we talked last, I've never really dated anything other than black women. But I think the fear I probably would have, which I think would be the most natural one, would probably be just that person because they aren't black. Because you can't teach somebody how to be black.
Right.
You can show them all the culture shit and all that other. You can't really teach a person what it's like. So I think for me the biggest thing would be them not understanding the struggles that a black person has to go through.
Right. That's my biggest fears when it comes to not just white women, dating outside of your race, period. And the same thing with me not understanding, me not being, I don't want to say me not being open, because I'm open to listening to anything, but white people really aren't the only people that's racist against black people. Because I've met some people of Asian descent that's like, yeah, if I brought a black person home, my parents would think I was a disappointment. Like they would think about disowning me. Like, I don't know how that is so much with the Spanish community, but I've seen Asians, and I've seen for sure white people. Like, yeah, I love black people, but I could never take you home. You know what I mean? Like, it would just have to be between us. And it's like, at this age, fam, I don't got time for that, because I don't know if I would be open after one incident. Like, if I'm already in love with somebody and I go to meet the family and then we have all of these, I don't think I'm going to be open to, like, just give them a chance. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to see where they're coming from. I don't know if I'm going to be open to that and privy to that, as to opposed to a black person. They're not going to be racist unless it's like, I don't even think black people can't be racist against black people, but I think it would be another situation like if her pops or her moms make really good money and I'm not in the tax bracket that they want their kid dating. Right. You know what I mean? Then they don't accept me for something like that. And it's like, well, I can prove to you that I'm morally and spiritually and emotionally fit to date her. I just can't date her financially, as to opposed to what you want her to have. Right. You know what I mean? Because you've taken care of her. She's been well off. But if she even giving me the time of day with you in that different type of tax bracket, you kind of got to sit back and just be like, all right, I need to see what this person is here for. Because a lot of people nowadays, when you got money, you don't know if they're there for the money, or you don't know if they're there because they actually like you. You know what I mean? So I can see that perspective, but I don't know if I would be privy to understanding the other, my significance side of the family. Like, as far as like dating outside of my race, I just don't know if I would be.
it's a hard dynamic because there's going to be some. They're going to have a problem because you say you might be dating somebody who makes. You could be dating somebody who makes like, let's say, low six figures. Here you are coming in with your middle two figures, and they looking like, well, you know, is he only fucking with you?
Right.
You know, you want to tell a person just, you know, block out the which in me and for me, I've always been different when it comes to that. Anybody I've dated, and I think part of the reason I'm like this. My grandmother made it very clear, especially when I started dating. My grandmother's attitude was like, if I don't pick the girl, I ain't gonna like her.
Right.
That's what she said in so many. No, that's really what it's like. That's what she said in so many words. So like, anytime I met somebody, if I brought them home, you pull up in the driveway, I would tell them, I'd be like, listen, don't work too hard trying to impress her. Yeah. Because she's not gonna like you. It has nothing to do with you. Yeah. This is what I try to get them to understand. It has nothing to do with you. But because she didn't handpick you, she already ain't gonna like you. I said, hey, don't be disrespectful. She gets out of line, I'll talk to her. I said, but don't go overboard trying to impress this lady. It's not gonna work. Right. And I've always had that mindset, like I don't give a damn who my family likes, because at the end of the day, if I choose to be with that person, I'm the one that's going home with them. Right. I'm the one that's dealing with them. My only rule has been, you respect them. You respect my family, I'm gonna make sure they respect you. If some shit pops off, I will take care of it, but let all that other shit go. And it's funny, like the example which you gave, and sometimes black people, they can be just as bad as white people. Like if you bring home if you're dark skinned, and I actually saw this happen to a friend of mine, my boy D, he brought D dark. He like blue black. And he brought home a red bone. He was having a cookout at his mom's house. He brought this red bone to the cookout. And his mom really looked at, met the girl, was being all nice. And then they walked around the thing. And I even heard his mom say, like, you couldn't find nobody a little closer to your complexion. I'm like, yeah, like that. I'm like, damn. I'm like, you know. So there are some people. Yeah. There are some people within your own race. You ain't going to win from even because. Just because that person's too light-skinned. Or if you flip it, if it's the light-skinned person, why you go get a dark motherfucker like that? I've seen that. Me too. And it's just like, wow. Yep. Why do we do this?
It's never happened with me. It's never happened with me personally, but I've seen, I've had friends that had to deal with that. And I'm just like, well, isn't black? And they like, nah, they want somebody my color. So if you have parents like that don't even want you being with like a light skinned or a dark skinned person, you imagine what the reaction you're gonna get when you bring somebody outside of your race home.
Oh, it's gonna be doubly worse.
White or Asian or even Spanish. Like
in my experience, Spanish is about the only one that's kind of okay accepting sometimes. I said in my experience, I can't speak for yours or other people's, because I know some black people like that. Like I remember one time, it was the only one I ever dated. I was dating somebody and she was Puerto Rican, and I'll never forget what my uncle said. He's like, oh yeah, she cool. She just a bilingual nigga. That's all that is. That was his take on. So it was. There are some people it's that simple to look at, but you're right. There are still gonna be them other ones that they're even gonna go against them, and it's just like,
yeah, because I know some Spanish people that's like, yeah, nah, I'm just not into black people like that. Those type of statements they're said, and it's just like so casual that they don't think that they saying nothing wrong. Yeah. But at the same time, I take a step back and look like, what do you mean? Like, how do you not be into, like, I understand everybody has their type, their type, but how do you just not be into a race? That's what I don't understand. I don't understand when I'm just not into black women like that, or whatever the case may be. Like, nigga, what?
That's why I say, to me, it's learned behavior.
What are you talking about?
It's learned behavior.
Like,
because how can you never be around anything, but then in the same breath be like, yeah, I don't like them people. You never even fucking dealt with them people.
You don't know.
You don't know none of them
people. Most of it is probably off perception of how we look on the news and whatnot.
That's why, and this is somewhat of a different topic. I got two family members that are gay, and they're both males. And I worry about them because it's
They
bad. No, they black,
Mm-hmm.
and that worries me because it's like it's bad. Being a black man in America, and I'm not trying to single out the women or anything, but I'm speaking from a man's perspective. Being a black man in America can be or is already tough.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
And with all this homophobic shit out here,
Yeah.
to be a black man and gay,
Yeah,
it's like you're in the minority of a minority.
for a fact.
Because the sad thing is now you're not just worried about whatever racism you deal with.
Not really.
Now you got to deal with this homophobic shit. That comes from both sides.
Yeah, that's both sides.
That's both sides, and that can put you in a fucked up spot, and it worries me because I'm one of the few people I firmly believe, and like I said, I don't say this to get any type of brownie points. I'm not trying to impress nobody in the world, nobody on this podcast. I'm trying to impress you on the podcast, just get him some more subscribers. But in terms of the way I live my life, I've always been, you have to do you.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of your responsibilities and live your life the way you want it to. You can be the most perfect person on earth. There's still somebody that's gonna have a problem. Yeah, you can be the most perfect person on earth. Hell, look at Jesus.
Yeah.
Didn't have no sins.
Crucified
And they still came. So I mean, it's somebody's always gonna be unhappy. And I know it sounds more easy than it is. Sometimes you just have to block out noise and just do what you got to do for you. You can't worry about all this other shit because the more you try and live your life trying to impress other people and live for other people, you are killing yourself because that's a piano on your back that you don't want to carry. It's too heavy.
You're killing yourself and wasting.
You're killing
your
your spirit
Yep.
more than anything.
And you're wasting your time because you're just never gonna be able to please everybody.
You're not. You are not.
But I do believe, yay or not, I believe that there is somebody out there for everybody. And it's one person that'll be, that you'll be willing to change for and live your life the correct way, I guess. I don't know how other people feel, but I think there is somebody out there for everybody.
There is. It's just a question of just because they're out there don't mean you're going to meet them.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Just
or you could have met them and
you could have met them. You might have fucked up. She might have fucked up. Who knows? Who knows what happened?
Yep. So, all right.
Oh, I think the only thing we didn't talk about, I'm going to ask the question to you because it was asked to me by a good friend of mine because she said this is why, she said even though she's been attracted to some white dude, she said this is why she's never dated one. No, don't laugh. Hold on, let me get it out before you start laughing. Let's say you dating a Becky.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever worry about like that first time, like maybe you
I already know what you want to say.
Y'all get in that real fight.
She called me a nigga or something.
Let's just say she don't say nigga. She might just look at you and be like, you know what, your black ass is
Dog. See, See, dog, listen. And the crazy part about that is I've heard white women say, yeah, when I was dating him, I got so mad that I called him a nigga or I said something like that. And I'm like, my next question every single time is, well, what was his reaction?
Right.
What did he do? You know what I mean? Like, because to me, at that point, I know it's a bad way to look at it, but it's like, and I know people say stuff when they mad that they don't mean. But at that point, it's like everything that you and I have been through has just went out the window. You know what I mean? Like if you call me a nigga or whatever the case may be, or you just say something like you're black, like anything of that sort, it's like you automatically got mad and you reverted to you being just white. Like like forget anything that me and you and I have. Forget any way that you feel about black people, whatever the case may be, because they say people say stuff. They tell the truth when they mad and when they drunk. Or when they high, whatever the case may be.
I don't know if you watch it. I think Shannon Sharp on Undisputed says it best. There are 3 types of people that'll tell you truth. Anger, drunk, kids.
That's what I'm saying.
them 3 right there.
So when we in the heat of the moment we arguing or whatever the case may be, and you automatically revert to calling me whatever or saying whatever that's I'm gonna have an issue with. It's like, see, this is what I was afraid of, because Like I said, if we've been together for 5 years, all of that history and everything that you know about me and my family and what I had to go through and the struggle it is to just even walk outside with you every day, with being like all that went out of the window because you're mad now. Yeah. And you automatically just boom, like I go right back into being white, and I'm gonna say this without thinking. You know what I mean? And it's like, once you say something, you can't unsay it.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I can forgive you for it, but at the same time, I'm like, well, the next time we get into that argument, it's the same thing probably gonna happen. So you've now jeopardized my whole feeling about this situation when I was already leery about it in the first place. Like, you just proved me right, and you just made my theory come true as to why I just decide to just look at, you know, a different race from afar and just keep it moving. Because if a black person say it is what it is. Like, black women gonna do that. That's what they do. But they can call me a nigger or whatever the case may be, because they black too. It's just outside of your race. You can't say that. Whether you mad, whether you drunk, whatever the case may be. Because I've been around the ones too that think they can say nigger when they get drunk and a song come on. It's like, fam, we ask y'all not to say one word. We ask y'all not to say one word. Just one. And then it's like, well, my boyfriend's black, so I can say it. Like, no, you can't. You just can't. You can't say it. Listen, and I know because my man Uzziah, shout outs to Uzziah and Yori, his girlfriend is of Asian descent. And I try to joke with her, like, to get her to say it. She won't say it. She don't even think it's funny. She don't even play with it. She don't even play with the thought of even saying it. And she's dated nothing but black guys. And she's like, nah, I'm not saying it at all. Like, I don't know if she said in her own time, like when ain't nobody around or something, like that's between her and God. Like, I don't know, but yeah. she won't even joke. She won't even like play around with it. And I can respect women like that, but it's always gonna be in the back of my mind. Even if we having sex and we getting into it, and she just like, you know what I mean, like, harder, nigga, like, see.
Wait a minute. Come on, man.
Like, yo, that's what I'm talking about. Like, when you're not in your right mind, you're not thinking about the right shit. You're not thinking about the right stuff. You know what I mean? It just might come out. And it's like, how you gonna react? It's like, all right, now I'm done. You know what I mean? I don't even want you no more. Like, just get your stuff and get out. Even if we girlfriend and boyfriend, like, I'm out, one or the other. It's just, it takes nothing but a split second for, you know what I mean, like, somebody outside of my race to say the wrong thing, and then our whole chemistry is completely done. That's what I was gonna say my biggest fear is as far as coming to it. Like, falling in love with somebody and being with them for years, only for one situation to happen. You know what I mean? And all of that is gone.
Yeah, I've never had it, well, I've had it happen to me, but in a different way. But I had a friend, we're gonna call him X. Mm-hmm. X was dating this white chick named Angie. We was hanging out at the bar one night. That was part of their problem. They were two alcoholics just don't belong together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but let that be a lesson to y'all. If one of y'all have one vice more than the other one, don't try and match that motherfucker, because that's a disaster. But anyway, we're at the bar. We're at the bar. They get into it. We're all standing outside. We all standing outside smoking. They going back and forth. She calls him a nigga. Now,
what is she?
She's white. Now, she wasn't. Not that there's a difference. She was wrong for saying it. She wasn't calling him a nigga to be racist.
Right.
She was saying it the way, like me or you might say, like, nigga, shut up. That's how she was saying it.
Yeah.
So, of course, she the only white person in the group. We all look like, whoa, hey, time out. Now, here's where the conversation got interesting. So, the homegirl Angie, shouts out to Angie. Angie looked at her and said, hey. And it was fucked up, and you're gonna laugh when I tell you this. Because Angie was like, hey. Just because you let niggas come in your mouth, don't let nigga come out your mouth. I was like, oh! So now, you got the black people mad at her.
Yeah, she mad, because that's...
And now, so Keith,
so
X,
words.
almost said his name, well, fucking Keith. I'll say it, Keith. So Keith's just kind of standing there. And then I looked at her, and I'm like, why would you? I said, you can't say that shit.
You can't say that.
No, but let me tell you what she said. This is what fucked me up. And this was the first time in my life I'd ever heard this happen. She was like, She said, this is how me and him talk at home.
Yo, that's exactly what I was about to say.
And this is
That's
what
exactly
this is what I said to her.
I swear to you.
And I've never been the type. I don't like to get involved in people's relationships because I don't like motherfuckers being in mine.
Mm-hmm.
But I told her, and he was standing right there. I said, now, if he's dumb enough to let you do that, that's on him.
Yeah.
I said, but as long as you were a part of this clique, I said, because here's what you need to understand. You done already fucked up with some of us tonight. We're going to, because at the time we was all hanging out. We're going to see you this weekend.
Yeah.
And some of us are already going to kind of be like, because you done fucked up.
Yep.
I said, I don't care what he let you say at home. I said, if he let you do that in private, that's y'all's business. Ain't none of my business. I said, even though it's dumb on his part. I said, but I don't care what happens when you in public. I don't care how mad. I don't care where your emotions get to. You can't say this shit out here.
You can't say it, right.
I say, because if you would have been anywhere else without us, if there would have been some other folks out here,
it would have been a problem.
You would have probably be getting fucked up right now, and he would have to make a choice.
That's what I'm saying, dog. So that is, that's because the crazy thing is that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like when you dating somebody and then it happens out in public, they like looking at you. Not only are they now looking at her strange, but they looking at you too like, well, what in the hell is this nigga allowing at the crib? And I started, and even though he's still friends with me today, for a long time, I was looking at his ass different. Everybody do.
I was like, not to mention, that's all I had ever seen him date was white women. He would have a black one every now and then, but the majority of the women I saw him date, they were white. And so then it literally got to going through my mind. I was like, do you let all these bitches do
right,
that?
Exactly.
Like, do y'all do? And look, and I got an ignorant sense of humor, but my dumb ass, I'd be like, are y'all doing like this slave thing shit when y'all fucking like, is she mad? Like, she got a whipping you saying, fuck me, nigga, dude. I'm like, are you letting her do this shit?
I'm trying to tell you,
and
dog.
It made me look at him different for a long ass time.
I'm trying to tell you.
And it really fucked with my psyche. Like, how could you let somebody say that to you?
Like I was saying, because I've had like, what you do, what was done in the dark is always going to come to light. So if you're dating somebody and you're allowing them to say that type of stuff, like in your household, they're going to feel comfortable because it's going to be like, well, he's letting me do it, I'm cool. But they don't take the time out. And again, this is what I go back to. It's like, are you thinking white privilege when you get around mad black people and you just like, well, this one let me do it, so I'm cool with all of them? It's like, well, I'm just able to say that because even me, if I'm saying something, like if I'm making a white joke with my white friends, I'm not going to say that around every white person because I don't know how they're going to react to it. You know what I mean? And that's just out of respect for my friends. You know what I mean? Not that I'm scared or anything. It's just like, well, I joke with my friends in private about this type of stuff, you know what I mean? But I would never say this in a group of white people that I didn't know.
Right.
I would never even bring it up. It's like, because it's not funny. That may not be funny to them. Like, what's funny between me and my friends or me and my significant other if they're a different race? Like, some people may take it a different way. You know what I mean? Because I have a lot of white friends. They make black jokes, you know what I mean? Like, and things of that sort. But I don't take offense to it because that's our relationship.
Right.
But they would never be around a ton of black people and say the stuff that they saying to me. You know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't make those type of jokes because some people just look like that's not funny. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Right.
And it's not just, I mean, jokes are disrespectful, period. Like, they don't have to be, but they could be. Mm-hmm. Especially when you're talking about race, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be disrespectful or somebody's not going to like them. But I know it's not malicious intent. You know what I mean? But somebody else might be like, what this nigga just say? Like, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's just that's my biggest fear of them just snapping out of it real quick because they mad or something. You know what I mean? Like, and just going straight to that. And then it's going to be like, I'm going to feel stupid because, like, I just wasted all of this time. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it took one incident for me to be done with you. But, honestly, I never thought I would be doing anything on interracial anything because, I mean, unless my nieces and nephews got older, but I don't have a lot of black and white friends, so I'm glad you even wanted to do this because it was a conversation that needed to be had, yo.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah,
this has been fun.
Dope. This is part 2. So
next week gonna be fun.
Yeah, man. So that was part 2 of I said I was gonna name it interracial dating, but I actually named it "Let the Race Begin," which I like that.
I meant to tell you, I thought that was such a smooth ass title. When you got done editing and sent me the link, I was like, oh, that's tight.
Yeah.
I was like, that's tight right there.
I like that a little better because it wasn't just about dating; it was about kids and all of that. So I just decided that. So thank you all for tuning in. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, share. That was "Let the Race Begin" Part 2. Next week is going to be something completely different.
We're going to make some people mad next week.
Next week is going to be something completely different.
I'm warning everybody.
Yeah, that's next week.
We might make each other mad. Hell, who knows?
Maybe.
We're going to make some people mad.
So, all right. So we'll talk again, but we will move on to the next segment, which is Cinema Sit Down. So I watched a few movies. I'm trying to find some newer movies. There's a few that I have to watch, but they keep releasing movies that's actually in theaters on demand, which I think is pretty cool. And I kind of found that inevitable with people shooting up theaters and stuff. I'm like, soon the movies that premiere, like you're just gonna start being able to just download them at the crib and watch them, so they can keep people safe. But the corona did all of that. She don't give a F about nobody, you know what I mean? So, the movies that I watched this week was The Boy 2. I don't know if y'all seen The Boy 1 or not. This one wasn't as good as the first one, but it was entertaining. I liked it. I like scary movies and horror movies and thrillers and all of that. So I watched The Boy 2. The turning was good up until the end. And I have no idea what the ending was about, but that's it's almost like a cult movie kind of. It's weird, but that's another thriller if y'all want to go peek that joint, The Turning. And then there's a movie on Netflix called The Ghost That Walks. Now, I don't think that this was released. I think this was released last year, but it's about a convict that gets out of jail and he dated a white woman. You seen it?
Yeah, I watched it. I forgot what the name. I watched it last week. He dated the white chick.
And he wanted to meet his kid, and he got into some other stuff, so he was on the run the whole movie. But in the meantime, the mob or somebody was chasing him. And in the meantime, he was trying to find his daughter before the mob caught up to him. Mm-hmm. And when he went to jail, she dated another man that I want to say they was either the same race or he was like Egyptian or something like that. But she dated somebody with a lot more money than the black dude, and he took on the baby since then the other guy was in jail, and he was trying to get to her. Actually, it was a pretty good movie.
It wasn't a bad
I thought it was gonna be trash, but it was a pretty good movie. So I would recommend y'all watch that on Netflix, and they keep dropping new movies every week too. So that's called The Ghost That Walks. And then I finally finished Ozark season 3, and oh my god! Moving on to Music Loop. Not a lot of music came out, but I found some good stuff. Tory Lanez's the new Toronto 3 was pretty decent. I didn't skip no songs on it. I'm not saying it's an instant classic like Jordan Lucas joint, but it's Tory Lanez. He does his thing on it. And then I found this guy from Syracuse. His name is Stove God Cooks, and his album is called Reasonable Drought. It's nasty. I love it. I didn't think I liked that type of music, but I love it, especially because he's from Syracuse. That's home, so I gotta support him anyways. But it's fire though, and his album cover looked like one of the album covers from back in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. One of them joints, but it's nasty though. Rock Marciano produced all of the beats. It's pretty dope. I like it. And then my sister told me to listen to Justine Skye, Ultraviolet. Now, I was already in love with Justine because she's just beautiful, but I never listened to her music, and I think this album is actually old. This is like a year or two old, but yeah, she definitely got a fan on the music side because it was fire too. And then I found my man, I think his name is Giveon. He got an EP called Take Time with my favorite song on there called Heartbreak Anniversary as of right now, and it's a vibe too. You know what I mean? Like just nice 7-8 songs or something on there. So y'all go look them joints up, listen to me, tell me what y'all think. And with that being said, we move on to the last segment, which is cheers. I'm not drinking anything because we're actually recording on Tuesday, and I got to go to work at 6. And we were supposed to record yesterday, but we had mad stuff going on. So this is cheers. We're gonna send you out with some drink.
Water. Keep yourself hydrated during this shit, man.
You know what it is.
All y'all make sure you subscribe. Trenton's Tavern.
Say cheers to y'all. Thank y'all so much already for all of the support thus far. We'll be back next week.
We
back next week with another topic. And again, like he said, make sure you guys comment, share, subscribe, and hit the bell button so when I upload these, y'all automatically get the notification to your phone. And then you won't have to get a personal text message, even though y'all like getting those personal text messages and stuff. And I'll post all my social medias and stuff down low. You got socials?
Mm-hmm.
You on Snapchat and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll get his from him as well, and I'll post his down there. Y'all make sure to go follow him. And yeah, we back next week, yo. I'm about
Part
to
3, colorism.
Word.
Part 3 gonna be fun.
Yeah, part 3 gonna be fun. So, until the next time, everybody was trying to call me and all of that. I had to stop this like 3 times, so it is what it is. But we made it through. So
yep, we good.
I'll see y'all next week.
Out.